well, or there's a problem with my stomach. Or you can say mbe kono, I'm in the house, right? Or mbe kono, I'm in the house or the room. And then here, it has something to do with in the iPhone then, right? iPhone kono. Jate bolan bara se. And I'm going to come back to this unko man. Let's come back to that. Jati bolan bara se. So the verb is kase. Kase. Which means to arrive, right? So we can say mbese, meaning I arrive, but it can also mean to be able to, right? So to be able to, but we can say nsera kuno, I arrived yesterday. Nsera kuno, right? But if someone's like, oh, can you speak Jula? You can say ntese, I can't speak Jula. Ntese. And here, what's interesting is we have the word bada, right? Bada is something that most Bambara speakers are not familiar with. Most Jula speakers aren't, because it's actually a typically Maninka form. So this is a good way when you read Unko text that you can get introduced to another Mandang variety. So bada is going to be like a past form, but it's typically a more recent past or that's more relevant for what we're covering right now. So for instance, if we say, so I'm going to put here, let's just put relevant or immediate. How do you write that? Relevant or immediate past marker. So it's actually an auxiliary or a predicate marker. So that's just like the other ones we know. Like, for instance, we could say something like, and I'll make this a little bit smaller, mbe ta, right? I go, and this is be is our auxiliary marker. But then we could also have something like, and this is what bada is going to be. Bada ta would be I went, but it's in the immediate sense. Most Bambara and Jula speakers instead, right, say ntara, and say it's this ra that represents the idea of the past. Bada here does the same work as that, but it goes in the slot that we expect, which is between the subject and the verb. So just something that can be a little bit tricky if you're not familiar with it because you just haven't seen it, but otherwise it totally follows the structure. So in this case, then if we go back to our sentence, Jati bolan unkoma abadase iPhone kono. So badase then is going to be that it arrived in the iPhone. So you could say, for instance, Jati bolan badase iPhone kono. It arrived into the iPhone. So now let's talk about unko man. So unko, which you see up here in the writing, and I'll write it down here for us one more time. So unko, in this case, I'll write it with the apostrophe because it's not the proper consonant na, the N consonant. It's actually the syllabic nasal of the word like meaning I. So I'll write it like this conventionally. So unko would mean this writing system. And when we say unko man, that is then turning it into something that has the property of being in unko. So unko man is saying an unko calculator, using man as a kind of adjective. You could use this for other kinds of suffix or with other words. For instance, if we said nalong, nalong being somebody who's kind of dense or not too smart, you could say naloman, right? Naloman then is a word that mixes the qualitative verb nalong then to turn it into an adjective. So you could say mogo nalaman. So a stupid or idiotic person. Yafama kumanyana mate. Sorry, that's not a nice thing to say, so please forgive me. Aywa. So if we put our whole thing together then, we have Jatibola unko man barase iPhone kono. So an unko calculator has arrived onto the iPhone. And so let's go back to the page that I had pulled up. You can see there's a picture, a screenshot of this unko calculator. And then actually, if we look here, I found the app, Unko Calculatrice. So this has come out, and it's an app that is a calculator for performing everyday math using the unko script. Aiwa. Donc, ikana foko itseka unko sabe. You mustn't say that you can't write unko, because obviously there are apps that are out there so you can. Aiwa. Nala sona video ni diara 𝙍𝙊𝙃. If you have any questions about 𝑘𝙀, please let me know. Post down below, and either me or somebody else will hopefully get back to you. Otherwise, did you like this video? Think about throwing me a tip or becoming a patron. Nala sona nebenaseka video wereke 𝙍𝙃. Hopefully, I'll be able to do another video for you guys. Aiwa, kamben, auniche.